Well, I mean, it depends who you're talking to. If you're talking to a woman at the grocery store, she'll say, my Lifetime movies.
Sure.
Or some other people that are obsessed with 90210 at that time, that was then they're completely excited about that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, I guess, in their 30s love Charles and Charles. 30s and, I guess people in their 40s too watch. They're now 30s and 40s watched that show. They always say the same things. So, what was Scott Baio like? What's James Franco like? Those are the two biggest questions I get.
So what's Scott Baio like?
He's really funny.
Yes.
Very funny.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Very good. Was he in charge?
He was.
No.
Yeah, he was.
No.
We were little kids, and he kind of taught us a lot, and he was in charge of the show and what was going on. And I was scared to death to have to go to work that day and do it in front of hundreds of people. I think it was 250 people. I think that's what it was. I was so scared until I actually sat out there in front of the audience, and I started my dad pointed this out because I wouldn't remember this, but he's like, you realize you started the series. I was the first one on camera for Charles in Charge. The show opens on me, little 12-year-old laying on the couch reading a poem in a book. Yeah, imagine how scared. I'd never acted before. I'm sitting out there, I could feel that energy of all those people watching.
And in that moment, you didn't even have a person to act off of. It was just you
me.
and a book.
Yeah, but the cool thing was right before, the comedians out there kind of talking to the audience, and I actually looked out and I could feel the energy and the love and that they were excited. And I felt okay all of a sudden. It was weird. I was really scared at first, but once I was out there laying there and I could hear people laughing, I'm like, oh, they're not judging. They're just, my instincts just told me not to be nervous. So. One audition and 10 callbacks. Yeah, because they were taking a chance on me. I had only done commercials before that. Other girls had already done shows. I had never done a show in my life. It was my first job, and they were already picked up for, I think, 13 episodes. So they were taking a chance on me, and I had to prove myself and prove myself and prove myself over and over. I did a show called Titans, and that show, I remember them saying something, and I was shocked. They said some crazy thing like, we had 7,000 submissions for that role that I did. And then it was narrowed down to, I don't know, 1,500 audition, people we audition, narrowed down to producer session of 750, whatever.
Just kept, yeah.
They only tested, I'm trying to remember how many they tested. I don't know, Titans. That was Aaron Spelling. Yeah, I think there were only maybe like 7 of us or something, I think, for the tested. I remember testing in all of NBC was there, Aaron Spelling was in the middle, and it's just a sea of network executives. It's a fascinating process. Sunny, that Nick Cage directed with James Franco, and the cast was insane. Yeah. See if I can remember everybody's name. Ready? James Franco. Nick Cage was actually in it as well as directing it. Mina Savari, Scott Kahn, Harry Dean Stanton, Brenda Vaccaro, Brenda Blethyn. Wow, I did really well.
Yeah.
Seymour Cassell. I did a Lifetime movie that people go crazy for. It's been running. It just doesn't stop running. There's this one producer that does a lot of Lifetime movies, and this was his favorite one, I heard. It was called The Perfect Assistant. I have jet black hair in it. I'm insane, and just the internal work was just, and just doing that character and just living that character was so much fun, except for Chris Potter, my co-star, literally thought I was crazy because I stayed in character in between takes. I mean, if you're gonna be that nuts, believably, like you can't go and act that.
Sure. It'd
So
be too tough to get in and out of quickly between a cut
yeah,
and
and we shot like crazy. So I was just constantly, I made my desk, and I knew what I was doing, and my boss, and what I was trying to make him think I was doing, and sneaky, and this and that, and he would sit there in between takes, and he would look down at me and watch what I was doing, and was like, and I'd look up, he's like, oh my God. I said, would you relax? I said, I'm preparing. He's like, oh, there's a movie called Kalamazoo that is actually, the people just got their movie back, so now they're going to try and do something with it. I guess it was in someone else's hands for years. It was a really fun, and I really got to make it really funny.
Yeah.
You know, and
like
I
beyond what was scripted, maybe even?
So different, you have no idea. Now, I'm not saying anything about the script, but the character was written a certain way, cute, whatever. But I really went off the wall and just like made it wacky because it wasn't like that. And I remember the director at first was like, I don't know, this is not really what I envisioned. And I said, please just trust me on this. And he's like, okay, let's do some takes my way and let's do some your way. And then the next day he's like, do whatever you want. I think your instincts are awesome. That was so much fun too, because I don't like having to burst into tears and be crying like that. You can't actually tell either, because the way the natural light was, we used natural light, so you couldn't see. Like this lighting, if I had tears coming down, you could actually see it. But the way that light was coming, it was coming from here. So maybe there's some buildings reflected just enough to see me, but you couldn't actually see tears coming down, and they were coming down. You can actually see the makeup was coming off right there, but it was coming down, and it was so deep. But I was not having fun having to do that scene over and over and over and over again. To cry that deeply was just killer. The cool thing about CSI New York, though, was that we shot in the actual streets of New York during traffic time.
Wow.
And because the show's so famous and everything, they shut down, I think it was one lane.
Okay.
They shut down one lane, and that was it, and everyone just, I don't know, the traffic kept moving, and I guess people really want to get somewhere in like LA where they're like, hey, I'm drinking my coffee, what's that? I'm a photographer.
Okay.
And I actually have a passion for singing and dance. I don't even think my managers know that. So when I hear about Glee, I'm thinking, well, I could audition for that. I guess most people don't know I'm a writer either, but now that I'm really writing, they're gonna find out. There's this thing called active pitch that my managers use where there's a whole summary of whatever show or movie you want to choose, so you don't have to watch an entire reel.
Sure.
So you can actually choose which project you want to watch. So I'm more about that.
Yeah.
I'm just giving that link out instead of, and that's on my website too, josiedavis.com.
Yeah.
And on IMDb, I have a scene up with James Franco from Sunny on the homepage. I'm on Twitter, just Josie Davis. Facebook, Josie Davis. I do a social cam.
People send questions and you answer on the webcam?
Yeah, my advice column.
Nice, excellent.
Yeah, the Josie Davis advice column.